want to be signed to a label, all right? I don't think that it's necessary to be signed to a label. A lot of y'all do not know what y'all are getting yourselves into when you're asking to be signed to a label. Now, back in the day, if you wanted to blow up or whatever, you had to be signed to a label in many cases, okay? I've always thought outside of the box. I've always thought bigger. I've always thought if that person at the top is doing it, there's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a way for the person at the top to do it, there's a way for me to do it. You know, the problem is we are okay with being bottom feeders. We are okay with being an artist. Y'all, a lot of us don't look up. Um, we don't look up the information. We don't study stuff. We don't research stuff. Ever since a kid, I have been like a nerd, you know what I'm saying? So I guess I just still have it in me to just research stuff. And you know, I don't it doesn't it's not fun to look up stuff and research stuff. But at the same time, if I'm trying to get to a certain goal or a certain place in life, and I'm on this side of the river, and I need to get on that side of the river, I see my destination, or I have an idea of where I need to get to. I'll spend the rest of my life researching and trying to figure out how to get over there. If you understand what I'm saying? By all means, I need to get over there. I know that once I make it to the other side, there's a better chance of me, you know, making it, or once I make it to the other side, I will make it. Whatever the case is. Okay. So a lot of people put their music out, and because we want to be signed, okay, we want to get that record deal, we want to get that $1 million record deal. A lot of y'all don't do the math on this stuff. $1 million is not a lot of money. Once they tax you, okay, once they tax you on $1 million, you're not gonna have no money. And even if you go somehow, I think they might have it set up where you can do tax exempt, okay. If you got all your ducks in a row and you're going tax exempt, okay, and let's say you do get that $1 million, okay, $1 million is still not a lot of money, because it's like hitting a lotto. Once everybody in your family know that you done hit $1 million, everybody gonna have their hand out. Everybody gonna feel like you owe them $1 million. Think about it. If you are a $1 million artist, and you hit $1 million deal, or if you're a regular person, you hit $1 million deal, now you're $1 million artist, right? You hit a deal. All your family, you buy a $500,000 house, and you buy a $250,000 car, like a Maybach. Probably can't even afford a Maybach. You think you can because you got $1 million. Anyways, all your money is gone. All your money is gone. You still gotta have money for your clothing, your outfit, your food every day. All your money is gone. All right. Here's why you don't need a deal, a record deal. That money is a loan. All right. That money is a loan. You have to pay it back. So if the label gives you $1 million, you might have to pay anywhere from $3 million to $5 million back. Why would you want to work harder than what you have to? If you have to work extra hard for that $1 million, and you have to pay the record label $3 to $5 million. Nelly, for example, let's look at Nelly. When Nelly, Country Grammar for Nelly, okay, Nelly hit. They paid Nelly $5 million for Country Grammar, okay. That's most artists don't do 5 million. They do about 1 million, or some artists that we don't know don't even do 1 million. They might do 500,000. Back in the day, if you did 100,000, if you had $100,000 deal, that was good money, okay. But Nelly, they paid Nelly $5 million on Country Grammar, his first successful album, okay? Do y'all know how much money the record label made? They made like 90 million off his album. One album, $90 million, okay? So if the record label's making $90 million, then that's money. 90 million, $1 million ain't no money. 5 million, you can run out of that real quick, because once everybody in your family, your friends gonna want money, you ain't gonna have no money left. Okay, so 5 million is okay for one person. 5 million is not a lot if you share with other people. All right. So Nelly hit. They paid Nelly $5 million. The record label made 90 million. Keep that in mind. So in my mind, what I think of, well, I want the 90 million. Why would I settle? You as an artist, you only make anywhere from like 3% to 5%, maybe 8% of the money that the record label is actually getting off of your project. Okay, and they own you. They own you. They tell you when to get up, where to go, when you can sleep. They own you. You're a slave to the label. There is no freedom. Y'all think, oh, because the rapper got all these Rolexes and all this jewelry. They make it look cool because they have to sell you. That's marketing. They have to sell you that. Okay. So if y'all study this stuff, where like these platforms, the only thing you're fighting with a platform like YouTube or Instagram, you're fighting the algorithm. Okay. YouTube's algorithm is better than any other platform, in my opinion, based on research from my perspective, okay, and based on other people that I've looked at. Okay, now some of y'all might get on TikTok or Instagram and get more results. Okay, now what you got to understand is YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. So YouTube, a lot of your old videos are still getting traction. On places like Instagram and Facebook, a lot of your old videos are no longer getting traction. YouTube is a place where your videos are more or less, if you know about SEO, search engine optimization, how to title your videos and how to do things that trend, a lot of my videos are still getting traction because they have the right SEO, search engine optimization. That's just the word, the title that you put in your, the wording that you put in your title and description on YouTube. Okay, I don't know about other platforms, but on YouTube. Okay, so we're talking about going direct to consumer. So that's where the platforms have kind of made it to where, see, a lot of y'all do not connect with y'all's fan base, okay, and that is very important. Y'all do not connect with y'all's fan base, but you know, I can understand if a lot of your if a lot of the people are trolls or whatever. What is this stream about? Hey, I like and sub. It said, what is the stream about? It didn't have a title. I put the title on the video. I don't know why it should be on there. So, but record labels, record labels buying DSPs. If you know what a DSP is a digital streaming platform. And I believe that if record labels know that the money is in streaming services, a lot of record labels will try to buy out these platforms, okay? But it's a trick. So you think, oh yeah, I'm independent, right? I'm independent. I'm not going through a label. I'm putting my music on this streaming platform. But you don't know who owns the streaming platform. You're not doing your research. You're not doing your homework. Who owns the streaming platform where you putting your music in? Okay? So just like y'all say, oh, record labels are, you know, wicked or Illuminati or, you know, whatever, or you sold your soul because you signed with a record label. Well, if you upload your music on a platform that a record label has bought out, you just did the same thing. So a lot of us that talk down on people that are signed, rappers that are signed to big labels, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really any different, okay? So, but, and a lot of us are lazy. I'm gonna say that. A lot of us are lazy. I can't blame it all on being lazy, but a lot of us are lazy. We want to sit around and watch TV. We want to go hang out with our friends. But when it comes time to do what you got to do for your business, you're not doing it. You're not doing it. That same 8 hours you sit around watching TV, why don't you take that same 8 hours and go research something online about how to get your music out there without a label? Won't y'all look up what are the dangers of being signed to a label? Why don't y'all look up the math on being signed to a label? Like I said before, a record label is nothing but a loan. I didn't know that before, but I do research, and along the way you find out stuff. A record deal is nothing but a loan. You got to pay that money back, all right? So yeah, they'll front you the money up front, but you finna work for them. That's how you pay it back, by working for them. You got to pay that back with your time. You have to, like I said, you got to make back anywhere from 3 mil to 5 mil to pay back that 1 million that they gave you. Okay. Like I said, the label is making 90 million off of your $5 million project. Yeah, you probably couldn't have made that kind of money on your own. So you like, man, I just made 5 mil. Or man, I just made $1 million. This is the most money I've ever seen in my life. And that is where a lot of people go wrong. But if you would do the work, we need to stop being lazy. We need to stop being lazy and do the work. If you could think about everything that a record label does. If you would take a pie chart, right? Take a pie chart and look at everything that a record label does for a big time artist. They put them on tour. They get there. They pay for their videos to be filmed. They pay for their studio time. Not all the time, but I'm talking about, I'm just talking about the totality, the whole thing of what typically goes into an artist putting out quality work. Because when you're signed to a label, they're gonna make sure that you put out high quality work because they need it to sell. You're gonna be using top of the line microphones. They probably gonna be handling your merchandise. They're probably gonna be handling, like I say, your who was it? Was it Trina? Was it Trina or was it no, it might not have been Trina. It might have been dang, what is her name? It's a female artist from back in the day. Lil Kim. Was it Lil Kim? Lil Kim or Trina, I think. But one of them, I think it was one of them, talked about how they paid about, it might not be, they talked about how they pay, I think, anywhere from 10 million to 20 million. I mean, not million, 1,000 for one video. And this is back in the day. Probably more now. But I'm just saying, if you think one video cost $20,000 back then, probably costs more now. I'm talking about top of the line. I paid over $3,000 for one of my videos, one of my music videos. You know what I'm saying? Because I dealt with somebody that had filmed with big names. And so, but that's what I'm saying. Think about, like, if you're an artist and you don't have your own studio, or if you do have your own studio, but you still go to the studio to do studio time. If y'all know anything about studio time is very expensive, but you will get a professional result most of the time if you go into the right studio. But the way that I've always looked at it is, instead of me paying a producer, X amount of dollars to go film it, to go record it, their studio, why don't I use that money to just go buy my own equipment? Back in the day, when you had record labels and all that, when you had to be signed to a deal, cell phones wasn't out like this. You couldn't record on a cell phone like this. You look at the old flip phones that we had back, what was that, the year 2000, the 90s? You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't really record this type of stuff on a cell phone. You understand? You got all these apps at the palm of your hand. You have high quality cameras at the palm of your hand. And I'm not saying I'm not saying a cell phone camera is the equivalent of a Hollywood camera, but you can put out content. You can put out enough with everything is in the palm of your hand. You got these apps. You got the World Wide Web. You got cameras on your phone. Your phone even has a built-in speaker. I know some people that record their music on their phone. I would never do it, but I know some people that do it because that's all they have. So, but it's become very inexpensive compared to back in the day when you had to have a $500,000 studio just to be able to put out good content, quality music. You had to go hire out a whole film team just to come film a video. Back in the day, you had to record reel to reel. I don't know if y'all know a reel to reel, but movies and audio was recorded on reel to reel. That tape was not inexpensive. Especially if you want yourself to be in the highest quality, you had to record on expensive tape to be able to put out, and then you had to make sure that your recording was top notch. So a lot of that stuff costs money. Now we can just record something and delete it, and it don't cost nothing. So We have all the tools at the palm of our hand. Our problem is not, we are not engaging with our fans, with our fan base. Somebody said, I need your music. Oh, Will. Brother Will said he need my music. What you need my music? We do music together. What you talking about you need my music? That boy Will is something else. He need my music. Boy, I appreciate you, Brother Will. I need your music too. But you gotta have a way of connecting with your fans. You have to engage with them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we get comments and we don't even reply to the comments. I watch a lot of this stuff. So Master P was the first one to do a that I know of, was the first one to do a deal, but it wasn't a full-blown record deal. It was just a distribution deal because Master P had some kind of sense. He had talked with some people before he went in and negotiated or went in and talked numbers. It's like when you go buy a car. If you don't know your numbers, they just gonna give you whatever number benefits them. That's why a lot of these rappers, y'all say these rappers and these are out here selling their soul because they don't realize what they signed up for until it's too late. So now they got to do whatever they got to do. They got to shake that rear end. They got to sleep with I got to sleep with Bobo and Billy and John, you know what I'm saying, to make that money back. Yeah. I borrowed $1 million. I spent that money last month. And you owe $3 to $5 million. So you got to figure out a way to come up with that money. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So think about everything that the record label does. When they putting them flyers out on them telephone posts and all that. When you go to these venues and you see they flyers all over the place. Lil Bobo, the new rapper Lil Bobo is upcoming. Oh, you see his flyers all over the place. You know you can do that for yourself, right? You can print up your own flyers. My homeboy DP.S used to do it, and I thought he was crazy. I'm like, man, this dude's spending all that money printing up these flyers and bumper stickers, and this dude, I'm like, what? He was advertising, he was marketing. I didn't know what he was doing. You know, I thought it was a waste of money, but he knew what he was doing. You know, giving out free merchandise and free CDs and stuff like that. You know, I kind of got away from anything that involves spending money. I've kind of got away from it. So what I do is I try to do everything I can without spending money. Right? Now, if I had to spend some money, I will, but I'm going to spend money in the whatever is benefiting me more. For example, why would I spend money on studio time if that's going to be reoccurring studio time when I really could spend money on investing in my own equipment? That way I don't have to go to the studio no more. You see, you gotta think of what's going to benefit you the best, right? Why would I spend money getting signed to a record label, or why would I go and sign to a record label when that's gonna cost me more money in the long run, when I could go take some courses? I could go spend some money out of my own pocket to take some courses that teach me how to operate, that teach me everything that the record labels know. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you figure out how to do it without a record label, you have more leverage and more power in your hand. So Russ, if y'all know Russ is a artist, a music artist, and he the way he explained it, he blew up, you know, just independently. But he had to mess up a lot to be able to get a result. So now Russ tries to teach us so that we don't have to make the mistakes that he made. And some of this same stuff that Russ is saying, and another dude is Brand Man. If you go watch Brand Man, he talks about like branding. A lot of us don't know about branding and marketing, and this stuff is very important. My Master P talks about financial literacy. Like, we don't know a lot of things. We just all we know as an artist. That's the only perspective we know is, well, I'm an artist. Or if you got a Hollywood record deal, all you know is I'm an actor. You don't know anything. You haven't looked at the big puzzle, the big picture, the big picture. Like how many different pieces of the pie are there? If you as an artist are only making anywhere from 3% to 5% or 8% of what your record did, what your project, what your album did, then you should want to find out, okay, well, where's the rest of this money going? You got the producer, you got the manager, you got the A&Rs, you got the executives, you see it a lot. Where's this money going and why? Figure out their roles and start wearing multiple hats. You might not be able to wear all hats. I get it. Some people don't want to wear any other hat. They really don't even want to be an artist. They just want the money that come with artistry. And then when you sign yourself a deal, and that deal, you get yourself in a sum. We'll pay you $1 million. Oh yeah, hey, I need a real good ink pen. Boy, I'm finna sign right here. And you signed it and ain't read nothing because you don't know how to read. You ain't been reading. You ain't been doing no research. So when they put that document in front of you, and woo, boy, that's too much reading. They know you ain't gonna read it. All you see is $1 million. What? Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead and sign it. Now you owe us $5 million. You already signed it. Give me that. You already signed it. I appreciate you. Now go out there and get out there on the corner and make my money. That's what it is. That's what it is. Everything in life, y'all talk about pyramid schemes. Man, everything in life is a pyramid scheme. Your job that you work on right now, your 9 to 5, is a pyramid scheme. Everything is a pyramid scheme. Think about it, your job. You probably one of the hardest workers on your job, but you the least paid. What I'm saying is, it's people above you that sit on their behind every day. You at the bottom, the people at the bottom, construction workers out there working in the heat. I'm looking at them right now, moving these bulldozers out. I'm in Waco right now, Waco, Texas. I'm looking at them. Yeah, I'm in Waco. I'm looking at them right now. With these bulldozers, right? They out there sweating their perms out in the heat, but they ain't making all the big money. Whoever they work for, them big contractors out there, whoever they work for is making the big money. You understand what I'm saying? But we not thinking, let me start my own business and let me buy a bulldozer and let me go get a contract with somebody. You know, let me go. We not thinking like that. Amazon, for example, or Walmart. When you look at Amazon or Walmart, I drive 18-wheelers for a living, okay? This is why I'm talking about this. You can use this with any job. Look at Amazon workers. So Amazon has their workers that work in the warehouse. Amazon has their drivers that drive the trucks. Amazon has their own, you might well say their own products. And then they also charge people to send their products through their warehouse and to use their shipping services. Walmart, for example, has their own drivers. Walmart has their own trucks. Walmart has their own products. Walmart has their own warehouse. Walmart also charges people to use their warehouses to ship items in and out. They also have the online store, walmart.com. You see what I'm saying? We're thinking one piece of the pie. You got to think big. You got to think ownership. You got to think of, how can I own all these pieces of the pie? So there's nothing wrong with partnering with somebody, working with somebody on a project, or you make the big piece of the pie and you pay somebody a 3% or 5% or 8% or whatever to do a certain task within your job, right? But don't be the one that's getting the 3% or the 5% or the 8%, which is what most of us are doing. It's only like 1% of the people in the world that make, well, what is it, like 1% of the people in the world, or 3% or 5% of the people in the world that make over $100,000 a year? If you make it to $100,000 a year, you have already surpassed 98% or 95% of the people in the world. That's not really that hard of it is that hard of a competition because of salary cap. They purposely cap your salary because they don't want you to make more than what they make. They don't, you understand what I'm saying? I can do the same type of work and make 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures. The same exact work that I'm doing now. If I just think bigger. If I think ownership. We're not doing that. So, like I say, man, your cell phone is your best friend. Our cell phone connects us. An easy way to push music is with a channel like this, and then jumping on other channels with a panel and network and network, grow it grassroots and be attractive buy for a record label. I think those are typos. And then jumping on other channels with panel and network growth. I think I understand what you're saying though. But that's one way. That is definitely one way. That's almost like being featured on other people's stuff. You said an easy way to push music is with a channel like this. I guess you're saying like YouTube or something like that. And then jumping on other channels with a panel. And I think a panel, I think that's more like a where you engage with your fans. A panel's like a Q&A. Q&A, I think that's what you mean, like a Q&A panel. And that's facts. Because you're engaging with your audience, you're engaging with your fans. But you don't even have to do it with other channels. But that is a good way to jump on somebody else's channel. But you know, along the way, me and my group, ever since I can remember, back 2008 and before that, we have always tried to collaborate with other people. And sometimes people would get so big-headed and they feel like, well, if you want to collab with me because I'm the bigger name, then you owe me something. And when you don't have a lot of money, oh, voice to text. Okay. And when you don't have a lot of money, it's very hard if that person says, well, you got to pay me $3,000 or $1,500 or whatever it is to come on my platform. You know, some people do it for free. Yeah, if you can find people to do it for free, that's cool. If they just showing love, that's cool. There are some people out there. But I'm always, I don't know, I'm a very independent person. And I don't want nobody, not saying I'm big-headed, but I don't want nobody saying, oh, yeah, I'm the reason that he blew up. Or because a lot of time, once you blow up, then them people feel like, well, you owe me because I'm the reason you blew up. Like I said, if the people want to help you and work with you and they don't expect nothing back, and it's just, hey, I'm just helping people, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us are not going to see eye to eye. A lot of us are going to have different perspectives. You know, I consider myself a Christian rapper. And y'all just don't know how many Christian rappers disagree with a lot of stuff that I do. Y'all don't know how many churches disagree with stuff that I do. You know, but back in the day, when I first started this, when I was doing it for the church wasn't supporting me. When I was doing it for the other Christians wasn't supporting me. You know what I'm saying? So now that I took a different approach, and now they starting to see, oh, this dude getting traction. Let's go over here and referee what he doing. Let's go over here and tell him what he can and cannot do. What? Like, you know what? You didn't. I'm not signed to your label. You didn't give me $1 million to do this. Like, you don't own me. You know? So, just like I don't own you. You know what I'm saying? But, oh yeah, definitely a big issue in the indie scene. It's like, a lot of people are too big-headed, man. But I'm not. I'm a very shy and bashful person. I don't like doing concerts in front of a live audience. I don't like doing lives because, like, I'm okay, but once I look up there at the top and I see somebody watching, I start freaking out. You know, but it's like a thrill, but at the same time, it's kind of like I'm very shy, bashful, introverted. You know, but I know that this is what it takes. You understand what I'm saying? To be able to connect with people. What I'm trying to do right now, is take it. I wish I did music full time. I wish I did. That's really why I'm trying to blow up on YouTube right? Because if I blow up on YouTube and I can do YouTube full time, boom, I don't have to work a 9 to 5. I can focus on giving y'all more concrete content, right? And I can spend more time with my family, but I also can spend more time with y'all. I can spend more time doing what I really love doing, which is music, film. What my page is about teaching y'all how to be y'all own record label, A to Z, right? So we cutting out the middleman. This is like, so what I was talking about, record labels are gonna go where the money is. It ain't just record labels, but I use them as an example. For all y'all that say that the record labels are just Illuminati or all that, you don't even know who owns YouTube. You don't know who owns Spotify. You don't know who owns Instagram, DistroKid. You don't know them people. Facebook, TikTok. You don't know, and they own your content, right? Because if they say, hey, we don't like something you said on one of your videos, we finna delete your whole page, we finna suspend your channel, what you gonna do? You don't own none of it. They own that platform. So you have to play by their rules. Same thing, you sign to a record label. You have to play by their rules. And if you get out of pocket, they'll shut you down. You see what I'm saying? Same thing, we live in I live in United States of America. You got certain rules you got to abide by. Even if you wasn't on the platform, you got certain rules and regulations you got to abide by in this country, right? In this nation, whatever this is. And and so basically, if you don't abide by their rules, if you don't pay taxes, if you know, it's certain stuff you don't do, then you know what I'm saying? Then you got to play by their rules on their ground. They say land of the free. This ain't no land of the free. You still got to pay taxes. Ain't nothing free out here. Your sanity ain't even free. But you know, I'm tired for my people out there, you know, that are tired of working a 9 to 5. Bro, let's collab via live stream. Yeah, let's do it. Performance, whatever. It won't cost anything, and I have my own studio. If you like, cool. If not, then no harm, no foul. Where you at? I've never heard of you. I ain't never seen you on my like on my, but it say you number 2 on my chat. Somebody else is number 1. I don't know who that is. Marad Garab is number 1, and then it was number. I guess it changes because it was saying, yeah. But I guess based on how y'all engage, it moves y'all up the ladder. It just started doing that. I was reading something on that. Oh, the top fans. That's what that is. I like I say, I know live is a way to engage with your fans, and I'm trying to get more into it. It's never really been my thing. Yeah, if you want to collab doing a live stream, we can definitely do that. I got my own studio and stuff like that, so that's not really something that I need. But I don't know what you're into, because your page says random tactical adventures. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. So I don't think you're into music. But you say you got your own studio, so but where are you at? I'm in Texas. I'm in Waco, Texas right now. But yeah, basically, I want to teach people, man, how to be their own record label. You understand what I'm saying? So if I can teach people how to be their own record label, because it's too many people, it's too many really good artists that I know that they got good content, and they think, man, if I just post my music on a streaming platform, on a DSP, then I'll blow up. And if you look at Russ said he put out, I think it was like 11 mixtapes or 11 albums or something like that, 11 projects, whatever he said it was. So imagine putting out 11 albums and you still ain't blowing up. Wouldn't you ask yourself, okay, I must be doing something wrong, right? I gotta do something different. Now, so what Russ said that where he found out he lacked in was the quality. So when he really was honest with himself, because Russ said everybody thinks that their music is better than everybody else's, and that's a fact. That is a fact. Everybody think, man, like this song, and when I hear other people, so I be like, bro, it's all right. I wouldn't listen to it, but it's all right. Same thing with me. If I think I got a good song, it's gonna be 99 people out there that be like, man, that song trash. We don't want to hear that. We can collab via StreamYard. I'm in upstate New York. I'm a touring drummer that does a bunch of other stuff. Okay, touring drummer. So explain to me about your touring. I've never toured before. What I'm saying is, like, where do you tour at? Who do you tour with? And why'd you choose the name Random Tactical Adventures? Or are you just using a different page or what? Because I'm just saying, if your page is about, if your page is about music, maybe it's not. But I'm saying, if you are a musician, if that's what you do full time, what does Random Tactical Adventures mean? But anyways, I definitely want to know about like where you tour and who you tour with. But I shoot videos, as well as, you know, put out. I have on my own studio and stuff. So, like, for example, I have stuff that the industry has. I have top of the line stuff that the industry has. So, you know, I had to work myself up to that point. You know, we all start. That's why I say a lot of people that be talking about, oh man, that costs too much money, man. $200 for a microphone, or $100 for a microphone. Then you got to pay $100 for some earphones, and then, you know, $300 for a computer, and then, you know, $200 for the software to make the beats on, and then you got to learn the program. And artists like that, they're not serious. Okay, not once have I ever complained about the price. Now, I thought, yeah, man, you know, stuff is not free, it's not cheap. But back in the day, back in 2008, when I first met up with my group, they basically, let me screenshot this just so I can remember your comment, what you said down there. But so I can go find your name after this live. But basically, like, when I met my group, everybody had their own studios, right? I didn't know how to produce in the box. I didn't know how to do music. I was a freestyle rapper as a teenager, and we were just using a built-in cassette jam box. You know, if y'all remember the old boom boxes, the old little jam boxes with a cassette tape that you put in, right? And you could go buy some cheap little blank cassette tapes, and you could play a CD, right? Or what you could do, what we used to do was, we used to play on a big stereo. We would play go buy an instrumental from like the music store, and we would play that, and then put the boom box, the jam box, in front of the speaker, and the jam, put the blank tape in and hit record, because the jam box had a little bitty microphone, probably the same type of microphone as what's on your cell phone. Probably ain't even that good of a quality. Cell phones got better quality now than the boom boxes that we had, but it had a little built-in boom box, microphone, and we used to record on that, and that's how we used to do our freestyles. You know, it wasn't good quality, but for us being in elementary and junior high, like that we was doing we were doing more than what most of the kids in our age group was. Even some of the old heads, some of the OGs, some of the people older than us was looking at us like, man, y'all really out here doing something, because they hadn't even achieved it yet. I've toured with reggae, rock, hip hop, blues bands all over the country, and Europe is a part of what I do. Also travel and train mixed martial arts, so my content is all over the place. Okay. So what is Random Tactical Adventures? What is that? What is your page about? Because I haven't clicked on. I'm gonna click on it after this video. But I'm just saying, what is Random Tactical Adventures? Because to me, that, I don't know. I might be wrong, but that sound like people that be going on vacations. Like, when I hear adventures, people that going on vacation, but it say tactical. I think tactical is like, they got to do with like I don't know, ain't that like ammunition and stuff like that? So I don't know, but anyways, I could be totally wrong. Educate me on that. But But yeah, man, I see so much talent out there, and there's so many people putting their music on these platforms, on these DSPs, on these streaming platforms, and they be like, man, why my music ain't went nowhere? You know what I'm saying? Why I ain't blow up yet? And like I said, you have to be a student. Okay? You have to first be a student. So being a student means you need to be researching this stuff. Research the music industry. Don't just be an artist. That's how people get screwed over. If you are just an artist, you will get screwed over because the regular can say, hey man, we'll pay you $1 million. Oh yeah, it's the most money I've never had in my life. Boy, $1 million. Mama, look, and then you know, now that's how a lot of that stuff happened. So I really don't get mad at the rappers that y'all be saying, or Illuminati and all that, because we don't even know why they do it. We don't know what them people going through. You know what I'm saying? That's like, for example, if a prostitute, not a prostitute, if a pimp was prostituting women, right? If a pimp was doing that, trafficking women, right? That woman might not want to live that lifestyle. Some of them do, but some of them women do not want to live that lifestyle. You might have one of them that commit suicide or something because they can't take it no more. So that's the equivalent of being in the rap game or the music business, and you don't know what you're getting yourself into. All they tell you is you can come over here and make some money. Now you done signed on the dotted line. Now you done agreed to this, and now you don't know, you ain't read the fine print. He get to slap you around. You really a slave. Slavery ain't went nowhere. Pyramid schemes ain't went nowhere. They just found a better way to disguise it. Slavery ain't went nowhere. They just found a better way to disguise it. Now they pay you for being a slave, but you still getting paid bottom of the barrel. It's like feeding you crumbs off the table. They eating good. They eating T-bone steaks and filet mignon and, you know what I'm saying, lobster and all that. They throwing you the whatever done fell off their mouth and fell on the table. They just brush that on the floor, and that's what you getting. And you digging all through that lobster tail like, boy, I found a piece of lobster meat. So yeah, that's your bonus. Piece of lobster meat. You know. So, but we eating pig slop most of the day. But yeah, man. That's all I want to say, man. I really just want to come on here and engage, you know, and tell y'all, like, if y'all don't know anything about print on demand, learn about print on demand. Would you rather see a tree grow or a Negro? Oh, boy, you finna get blocked. I'm finna block you, cuz. I'm finna block you, bruh. Facts. Facts. I got a zero tolerance when it comes to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got a zero tolerance. Like if you gonna come in my comment section and say crazy stuff like that, I ain't got time for it. That's not why I'm here. Don't hop up in my live session for that. Anybody that you know what I'm saying, trying to be trolls and all that, I didn't catch it till I read it. Like, that's why I typically I read stuff before I say it, but I'm not trying to like spend a whole lot of time like reading stuff. So this other comment says, from my boy Random Tactical Adventure, says, just a mix of random stuff. I understand the confusion. I also had some tactical training videos, but they got taken down. Salute from NC. Hey, yeah, we in Texas. ACG. Hey, yeah, we in Texas. Everybody shout out where you from, man. If you on here, man, shout out where you from. I want to know where y'all at. I'm in Texas. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just want to help you, because the stuff that I'm learning and the stuff that I do know, it not only applies to music, it also applies to really any type of business that you're doing. But I'm in music, and that's the crowd that I'm trying to attract. So I use those type of wordings. But like, I'm even thinking of a way like, man, how can I start my own DSP? Like, how can I start my own digital streaming platform? Because if y'all know anything about algorithms, this is part of the reason why you can push out content and you're not getting any traction, right? But at the same time, you have to understand the algorithms. You have to be a student, study the music industry to understand. Like, just because you put your music out there don't mean that it's gonna get views. There's like, I mean, you think about it. Think about your music as a you know how when you go to the wishing well, is that called a wishing well? Like when you walk into the mall and everybody throw their coins in the whatever that thing called. I think it's called a wishing well. You make a wish, you throw a coin in, right? So think about your music as one of them coins that's in that wishing well. Like who cares that like what is gonna make somebody pick your coin up, or even their attention to be drawn to your coin when it's a saturated market, right? So if you got millions and billions and trillions of songs and music on these platforms, that's what your music look like. When people go open up the platform, they're like, well, which one do I click on? You know what I'm saying? And they're probably gonna go with a name that they already know. They're probably gonna go with somebody that has good advertising, good marketing, good thumbnails. Thumbnail with the picture, the channel, not the channel art, but the artwork. You have to stand out in so many ways, and it's not just the album art. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is when you look at one of those wishing wells where you throw your coin, you flip your coin and make a wish, and you see all them coins in there, and a lot of them is probably quarters and nickels and dimes, and it's just like a bunch of silver coins. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you saw a gold coin in there, it would be rare, wouldn't it? If you saw, because they do have gold coins, like a gold dollar. If you seen a gold coin, dollar coin in that wishing well, it would stand out more than any other coin in there. So that's what I'm saying. How do you stand out? This is how you stand out. Russ talked about it. I've been talking about it for years. We steady pushing out mediocre sound quality. I'm trying to teach y'all how to get better sound quality. I'm finna do a couple of ebooks. Gotta hop off, but I like what you're talking about. I grew up playing drums in church. Oh, that's what's up. And have experience working with record labels. Reach out, even if you just want to have a conversation. Yeah, we'll definitely go live because I don't really want a lot of advice just for me. I want to share with other people. You know what I'm saying? That's what my page is about. Like, if you look at Brand Man is pretty much just giving out information, trying to help local artists like blow up. That's pretty much what I want to do, because there's so many artists that have talent, but they don't know nothing about marketing. They don't know nothing about promo. They don't know nothing about connecting with their fans. They don't know nothing about recording their own videos. They don't know nothing about editing. They don't know nothing about audio recording, merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Courses, selling courses. I'm gonna sell y'all courses too. I'm gonna give y'all courses, but right now, all this free content I got out right now, this is what I've been doing it for free. And ain't nobody been jumping on board. I started my YouTube back in 2008, 2009. I've been putting out content for free. Don't nobody care. So I'm finna start up something more professional, start selling courses. You know, I'm gonna still be putting out free stuff, but I haven't got around to the ebooks and the courses and that stuff yet. But I'm finna really get serious with that stuff and really just break it down. I'm gonna still be doing the YouTube videos and stuff. But hey, man, y'all take care, man.